Wait a second. Hold here. I have to go to my piano. That's an E5. Hey, what's up? It's Nikki, vocal coach. Here's my reaction to Dimash Kudaibergen. So I really like the vibrato choice. It's kind of like this nice, like light, it's kind of consistent vibrato. You could tell he's probably classically trained. A lot of classical singers have really good, consistent vibrato. At the end of this part of the song, I'm noticing he has a really good transition between his head dominant register to his chest dominant register. So like what we just listened to at the right before I stopped, you can't really even detect a transition if you weren't really listening for it. Just his ability to be able to essentially like add more weight, take weight off in those mixes in order for those to transition super smoothly. It's very important for at any of those passaggio or transition points in the voice, we need to be able to flexibly move between chest to head dominance. So I really like where this next section is going. You can tell he's increasing kind of the emotional level. Doing that, he's increasing his dynamic level, which from a technical perspective, so if we go to the vocal fold level, when we increase our dynamic level, so become louder essentially, it automatically engages more of the TA muscle, which stands for thyroarytenoid, which is the muscle that kind of essentially one of the muscles that controls how much chest voice, so how much weight is in the voice. I can definitely tell at this point there was significant classical training. He sounds very much like an operatic tenor in how he's approaching adding more chest voice. It sounds so clear and clean. There's not a bit of tension in it, which for females and males, when we're coupling the right resonance, so like vowel shape, the aperture, which is like kind of our articulators, we are able to, combined with the right amount of airflow and the amount of weight, we can create this super, super effortless, very natural, very like tension-free chest dominant sound. We are all capable of doing that, although Dimash might have some acoustical advantages, so that's kind of a fancy way of saying he was born with maybe some extra abilities that maybe not everyone else has. He is using a bit of like that nasopharyngeal resonance, so I can hear that there's like kind of a nice pinpointed sound, but he doesn't sound nasal. And there's a difference between like nasopharyngeal resonance and like kind of utilizing a little bit that as like a boost. Yeah, so he's doing that very well, because if he was closing off that nice open space he has, or collapsing the soft palate while he adds the nasal resonance, it would result in a very nasally sound. Wait a second. Hold here. I have to go to my piano. That's an E5. Let me gather my thoughts for a second here. Sounds like he's still in chest dominant activity, but again, like that resonance, that the way he's shaping the resonator to be so hooty, and like really maximizing that nasal resonance to get that crystal clear pinpointed sound, and just like the breath flow, there's not too much, there's not too little. He's just like everything is perfectly coordinated. believe it's an E5 to about an F sharp, maybe even a G5. So he is, again, just to reiterate, using that kind of like what a lot of people would call like a mix, an upper mix belt. Kind of reminds me of the rock star sound, like wah, wah. That's actually a fairly accessible sound for a lot of people to make. So just let's make a note. He is going higher. He did make a little switch to head dominance. Again, you might not be able to really tell because he's so good at using you know, his mixes and transitioning between those, but he essentially is in a different type of mix now, more on the head dominant side. So it kind of is rooted in more of that voice. D5, that last note, goes back to chest dominance there. A little bit more chest voice than his other mix that he was using on the E5. And so he ends at that nice, breathy, textury, controlled head voice. Okay, so number one, he has amazing control over his mix, like I mentioned. And I'm not just talking about mix, like in a vague sense, I'm talking about chest dominant and head dominant. Mix we can look at kind of more like a spectrum. He has a flexible passaggio, so he's able to make that transition essentially wherever he wants to, and whatever makes sense for what he's trying to achieve. The range obviously is amazing, and the ability within the range is even more impressive. Probably has, like I mentioned, some acoustical advantages. That really determines, like at the vocal fold level, how high and the flexibility of the voice, especially in upper mix and head, like super high head voice. Also, his vocal mechanism is pretty much in alignment the entire time, which is incredible. The breath management, vocal fold vibration. So he's, you know, chest, like controlling of how much chest voice, how much head voice. Also the resonance choices. So vowel choices and shapes, and then how much nasal resonance he's using. It's all just well executed, and it creates this beautifully balanced vocal product. And then the last thing I didn't really mention at all was his stage presence is also great. Definitely an emotional impact on his audience throughout the song. It's like he picked the right places to really start building his, you know, building dynamically, choosing to belt versus choosing that breathy head voice. Those are like very strategic vocal moves that will produce an effect on your audience. That's part of the artistry of being a singer, is making those vocal choices. And sometimes vocal choices have more or less impact on who we're trying to convey the message to. In conclusion,
talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same.
If you have any other of Dimash's videos you want me to react to, just tell me in the comments below. Or you could just tell me anyone you would like me to react to. My throat got so dry. If you like what I'm doing on YouTube, please follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. I actually post completely unique content on both of those platforms. And I also have a really cool resource. It's how to belt in a balanced, healthy way. Okay, that's all for now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.